Every year, the Environmental Working Group comes out with their Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. Every year, I like to cover it, and this year is even different. Here's why. It's not always just about the top 15 foods that you can eat non-organically, right? And the Dirty Dozen, which means don't even think about purchasing unless they are organic. But this is more so a public service warning and announcement of what they found in these studies. You know, on social media, a lot of people love to show the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen. We do the same, and I think it's fantastic. But really what we need to know is the details behind this, because I think you're going to be shocked at what they uncovered by looking at 54,344 samples over 47 different fruits and vegetables this year. So I'm going to go over all those details right now and also give you the easy to remember and clippable list at stephencabral.com/3721 if you want to head over there now. Okay. Environmental Working Group is a nonprofit, and they do such great work in terms of talking about the most toxic products out there, the cleanest products out there, and which ones are best for you and your family. I've been talking about them for years. They were in my book, The Rain Barrel Effect Diet. Again, I'm not I don't get sponsored by them or anything like that, but they've been talking about toxins, I think since around 2004 when their first guide came out. So they've been doing this before toxins were even an acceptable thing to talk about. Even when I came out with my first book, well, technically the Rain Barrel Effect, not my first book, but 8 years ago or so, you weren't even allowed to talk about toxins. People laughed about it all the time. Now we know everybody's holding on to toxins: aluminum, mercury, microplastics, parabens, PFAS, and so much more, right? All right, so let's get into it right now. Here's the thing. Over 75% of all conventional produce, that means all fruits and vegetables that are not labeled organic, over 7.5 out of 10 of those, right? Every 10 you see, 75% have pesticides on them. Most of them with multiple chemicals. Now, a lot of these are called generally regarded as safe, right? Grass. Here's the issue. I don't know of a study that exists where these pesticides and herbicides and fungicides are tested in conjunction with each other, right? So how can we call them generally regarded as safe when they haven't been tested on top of each other in studies? Here's what we found this year. By we, the royal we, I'm talking about the Environmental Working Group. Okay, I just try to share their work. They do great work. 2026, this just came out as of my recording 6 days ago. 54,344 samples, 47 fruits and veggies tested. They detected 264 pesticides and the breakdown of those products. Pretty wild, right? Over 50,000 products, and many of them, and what are now newer concerns of these things called forever chemicals, PFAS, right? PFAS, polyfluoroalkyl substances, and they are now being found all over the place. Why is this an issue? They're called forever chemicals because they don't break down. We knew about them with DDT and others in the environment because they literally will not break down, and now we're finding them in water and our foods. But here's the thing. What I don't want to talk about is saying you should be afraid of eating fruits and vegetables. We don't want that at all. Your diet should mainly consist of brightly colored fruits and vegetables. There's no doubt about that. Eat your meat, eat your fish, eat your eggs, eat your beans, whatever it is that you like for your proteins, but it should at least have some fruits and veggies on the side. If you don't like to do a lot of fruit, all right, well then at least we can do a cup of berries a day, right? I think that that's fair to be able to look at that. Okay, so we won't get into that here for today, but here's some key findings. The Clean 15, what does that mean? I'm going to give you them in just a moment. The Clean 15 means these 15 fruits and veggies could be eaten non-organically because 60% of these Clean 15 had no detectable pesticide residues. Now I look at that and say, well, that's 6 out of 10. 40% still had some, which is not ideal. So even though these are the Clean 15, it doesn't mean that they're pesticide free unless we're purchasing organic. And I know that we can use organic chemicals such as coppers and things like that. We'll talk about that in just a second. All right. So 16% of the Clean 15, they were at only 16. I look at it as still 16%, had 2 or more pesticides. And when we say pesticides, it could mean herbicides, it could mean fungicides, right? Okay, herbicides are weeds, pesticides are pests like bugs, fungicides are fungus, mold, etc. All right, so the top items also ranked the lowest for overall pesticide toxicity. That's the nice thing, is that the highest in the list, which we'll talk about in a moment, like pineapple, very low. No real chemicals at all. All right, we'll talk about those in just a second. The Dirty Dozen, 96%. 9.6 out of 10 items contain pesticides. All right, not ideal. A total of 203 different pesticides were detected on these crops. 264 total, but on the Dirty Dozen, I guess it's 203. A little discrepancy there. So here's what I want to say. At least 200, okay? PFAS, which is the forever chemicals, were found on 63% of the Dirty Dozen. It's incredible, right? Most of the items had an average of 4 or more pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, or forever chemicals. Pretty ridiculous, if you ask me. All right, some samples in the Dirty Dozen, which we're going to talk about right now, had more than 7 different pesticides on them. Unbelievable. All right, so let's go over what were the Dirty Dozen this year. This means don't eat these unless you can find them organic. And I know that seems elitist, and I totally get it. I totally get that. But what I'm saying is for these 12 at least, try to purchase either the frozen organic or try to, because I mean, if they're not in season or you can't find them locally, or the ideal thing would be to just choose other fruits and veggies, right? Because there's lots of fruits and vegetables in the world. Okay, so let's go over. The number 1 and number 3 always battle it out every year. Number 1 this year is spinach. It's often strawberries. Strawberries is number 3 this year. The average American, though, eats 8 pounds of fresh strawberries a year. That's why strawberries are so important, because they are, in my opinion, always the worst. Because people eat more strawberries than they do spinach for the average individual, right? And especially for kids. And kids don't detox as well oftentimes these pesticides, herbicides, et cetera, and they can lead to potentially, again, not giving you any medical advice, medical treatments, medical cures, medical diagnosis, et cetera, autoimmune issues, et cetera, skin rashes, headaches, migraines, learning issues, et cetera. Okay. All right. 1, spinach. Number 2, kale, collard, and mustard greens. So think leafy greens. Number 3, strawberries. Number 4, grapes. Number 5, nectarines. Number 6, peaches. And it says peaches pack a punch when it comes to pesticide combination. A little alliteration. What do they mean? Peaches were one of the top foods that had multiple herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, PFAS. All right. Number 7, cherries. One of my favorites, especially when they're in season, but they are sprayed heavily. Apples is number 8. Think of all the apple picking, right? Blackberries, number 9. Pears, number 10. Potatoes, very strange. The first year it joins the Dirty Dozen. The most consumed vegetable in the United States, potatoes. You have to be careful with this one because it's made into French fries as well, right? Or hash browns, home fries, etc. And number 12, blueberries, one of my all-time favorite, if not my all-time favorite, right? Okay, those are your Dirty Dozen. Now, I'm going to give you the Clean 15, and then you're going to notice something about the Dirty Dozen in the Clean 15, and that will enable you to make easy produce choices when you're at the grocery food store. All right, let's switch over. Clean 15. Cleanest, pineapples. Second cleanest, sweet corn, fresh and or frozen. Number 3, avocados. Number 4, papaya. But make sure papaya is not GMO. They make GMO papaya, they make GMO pineapple, so be careful on these ones. Because GMO is, if it says organic, it's not GMO. So that's an easy way to look at it. All right, but again, these are Clean 15, so you might be purchasing them conventional, so just be careful of they're non-GMO. All right, number 5, onion. Number 6, sweet peas. Number 7, asparagus. Number 8, cabbage. Number 9, cauliflower. Number 10, watermelon. Number 11, mangoes. Number 12, bananas. Number 13, carrots. Number 14, mushrooms. Number 15, kiwi. All right, so let's take a look at these. The Dirty Dozen versus the Clean 15. You may already know this trick, but this is going to make food shopping so much easier for you. Just a quick rundown again. Pineapples, corn, avocados, papaya, onion, sweet peas, asparagus, cabbage, cauliflower, watermelon, mangoes, banana, even carrots. We'll talk about carrots in a second. Okay, all of these are peelable. If you take the skin off, you're almost always okay. Not in everything, but you're almost always okay. A pineapple, you're not eating the outside. Bananas, most people don't eat the outside, right? There's a couple of outliers, asparagus, carrots, but for carrots and certain things, they're growing underground, so they're not as sprayed. So when in doubt, You peel the avocado, you peel the papaya, you peel the mango. You typically don't eat the outside of a watermelon. So all of these, you even peel cauliflower, you peel corn, right? You take off the outside cabbage layer of it. So that is an easy way to look at it, is that if you peel away the outside skin and layer, it's usually safe to purchase non-organic. Now, the flip side or the converse is also true. You can't peel leafy greens, right? You're eating a leafy green and they're grown above ground and sprayed. Strawberries and berries, you can't peel. Nobody's peeling blueberries, right? It's just not happening. Plus, they seep into the soft skin. So blackberries, cherries, apples, peaches. Think about peaches, nectarines, grapes. It's soft skin. Anything soft skin where you eat the skin, that is something that you're going to want to purchase organic. And I know it's not easy and I know it's not ideal, but that's really what you want to be doing. And if you can't find organic, maybe get the frozen organic, which is easier to come by. So leafy greens and soft skin fruit that you can't peel, try to go for organic. And if you're trying to save money, I like to purchase organic whenever I can. That's my goal. But if you're trying to save money, I totally understand, totally get it. And so then what you want to do is anything that's peelable, then you're going to opt typically for your conventional as long as it's non-GMO. That tip alone, it makes food shopping very easy. Then you can go back to feeling comfortable eating your fruits and vegetables because remember, you are supposed to get 7 to 9 servings of fruits and veggies every single day. This is what enables us to beat dis-ease in the world around us. Those are my highest recommendations. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to link up all the lists at stephencabral.com/3721 for all the details, the EWG article, all the statistics, the verified science, as well as the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen. Have an amazing day, everybody. Do feel free to share the show with anyone you believe it could serve.